At 2:13 a.m., a scream shattered the neighborhood, chased by a bone-rattling blast like a freighter's horn gone rogue. Lights flickered on, dogs howled, and there, in her bathrobe, tangled in an extension cord, stood Monica, the HOA tyrant, unraveling in her own front yard. I watched from my porch, coffee in hand, grinning in the dark. This wasn't just payback, it was justice, wired with precision and timed to detonate. 3 weeks earlier, it started with a flicker. Mid-documentary, my TV glitched, died, then rebooted. Annoying, but fine. Then my garage light new bulb went dark. My freezer thawed due la 200 worth of meat, and my power tools sputtered like they'd been cursed. As a retired Navy electrician, I knew this wasn't bad wiring or a storm. Something was siphoning my power. I grabbed my clamp meter and traced the lines. The readings showed a steady draw, not from my house but underground, snaking toward Monica's property next door. A fresh, sloppy trench cut through the bushes between usamateur work, barely covered. I knew who'd done it. Monica, our HOA dictator, was a nightmare. She'd fine you for a non-approved mailbox, report your Christmas lights for being too festive, and once tried to ban a neighbor's purple birdhouse. I'd stayed off her radar, too grizzled to intimidate, but she'd crossed into my electrical turf. When I mentioned the trench during her morning patrol, she played dumb, lips pursed like she was sucking a lime. "If you're accusing me of stealing power, I'm the HOA president," she snapped. "I could have your tools seized for unpermitted repairs." I stared. "Monica, there's a yellow extension cord running from my line to your garage." It's not exactly a mystery. She didn't flinch, just yelled about harassment and stormed off, phone in hand, likely calling her lackey cousin the HOA's security. That night, I hid a trail cam in the hedges. 2 nights later, at 2 a.m., her cousin, Vince, crept out in a fake security vest, tinkering with the wiring like a thief in a bad comedy. I had him on Rewired Dale, clear as day. Instead of calling the cops, I chose Chaos Monica's language. I called 2 Navy buddies, Carl and Eddie, both retired electricians with a prankster streak. Over burgers, we rigged a trap, a bypass detector at the junction where Monica's line tapped mine. When it sensed her draw, it'd trigger marine-grade Airhorn ship-level, fog-piercing beasts hidden behind my hedges, aimed at her garage. To bait her, I faked a system shutdown, posting a "solar upgrade, decommissioned" sign on my box with decoy panels for show. Within 48 hours, Vince took the bait. At 2 a.m., my phone pinged a motion alert. I watched him fiddle with the wires, thinking he'd won. The bypass tripped, and 4 horns roared like Judgment Day. Monica's floodlights blazed. Her scream could have cracked glass. She stumbled out, tripping over her solar lanterns, yelling at Vince as he fled, smashing a planter. Neighbors peeked out, one shouting, "Is this an invasion?" I sipped my coffee, muttering, "That's a surge, Monica." I thought it'd end there, but Monica wasn't one to quit escalate, and I was ready for war. By noon, an HOA envelope arrived, stuffed with violations, tampering with property lines, illegal electrical mods, and hazardous noise. Hazardous, from the woman stealing my power. I held off, letting her think I was cowed. In reality, I was dissecting the HOA bylaws, a trick I'd learned from a past HOA bully. Victory wasn't just being right, it was being right on paper. Carl and Eddie returned, and we set up decoys, a fake control panel on my shed, blinking uselessly, and a binder labeled "Neighborhood Surveillance, Phase 2", filled with chili recipes. Monica bit, snapping photos from her SUV, binoculars flashing like she was in a spy flick. At the HOA meeting, she ranted about my military sabotage and sound terrorism, calling me a suburban anarchist. But her reign was crumbling. Years of fining flamingos and banning wind chimes had eroded her allies. Still, she swayed 2 board members for an investigation. That's when I struck. I emailed the neutral board members my footage, Vince, mid-crawl, rigging the line, with diagrams of the voltage drop and meter readings. No drama, just facts. Within 48 hours, Janet, a board member once fined for her rosebushes, called, furious at Monica's abuse. The board scheduled an emergency vote to oust her. I compiled my arsenal, every HOA notice, trench photos, Monica's community chat rants, and a power bill showing her garage used 0 kilowatts during a real estate open house, lit by my stolen juice. Then Brett, from 2 streets over, revealed Vince had snooped in his breaker box under lighting inspections. Monica wasn't just stealing from Mesh, was scouting the neighborhood for power to leach. Janet got the audit rolling. Monica's empire was teetering, but she'd fight dirty. The night before the meeting, I tweaked the air horns, not to use but to stay sharp. The neighborhood buzz cameras sprouted, dubbed the Power Heist. Monica posted a 500-word HOA portal screed, claiming I'd framed her with AI deepfakes. It flopped. Neighbors made memes. At 6 p.m., the clubhouse meeting felt like a trial. Monica, in a stiff suit, radiated fury. Janet opened, citing utility tampering and HOA misuse. Brett shared Vince's snooping. Linda revealed Monica's extortion for outlet access. A stranger noted disconnected security lights after Monica's patrols. I stood calm, detailing the flickers, trench, and footage, handing out Vince's photo mid-crime. The horns, I said, proved her theft in real time. This isn't about my bill, it's about trust. Monica bullied and stole from us. Silence followed. Monica exploded, accusing the board of treason, me of voltage vendettas, and claiming AI fakes. She turned on Vince, shrieking, "You weren't supposed to get caught!" He sank. Then Dave, a quiet board member, dropped the bomb. HOA budgets showed cash withdrawals for security and maintenance, signed by Monica, with Vince's fake invoices. Her theft cost thousands. Monica lunged for the papers, screaming about privacy, but Dave kept reading. She grabbed the mic, yelling, "I built this place! You're leeches!" Janet took the mic. "We're voting to remove you, effective now." Monica gasped, but the vote was nearly unanimous, only Vince dissented. Volunteers escorted her out as she ranted about flamingos and pools. The room exhaled, laughter breaking the tension. Janet vowed audits and reform. Neighbors high-fived me, one calling it the best HOA show ever. But Monica wasn't Dinesh Clawback. Days later, a law firm sent a cease and desist, claiming I'd defamed her, caused emotional distress, via horns, and owed la $25,000. I laughed. My lawyer Marcus called it a bear trap. He prepped a countersuit for malicious prosecution. Then the power company, tipped by my docs, investigated. Their agent, Leo, admired my horn rig and found Monica's bypass wasn't Alanesh tapped the HOA clubhouse transformer, stealing thousands in power. At another meeting, Leo's report showed Monica's home as the theft hub, with Vince's fake contractor invoices. The board referred her for fraud and theft. Monica vanished, curtains drawn, mailbox stuffed. Vince, sweating, begged me to broker a board deal, admitting Monica's cash payments and texts. I sent him to Janet. Monica's lawsuit collapsed. Marcus won me minor damages. Her house hit the market, a charming shell of her reign. The HOA turned the clubhouse into a community hub. I declined the president nomination but kept the horns labeled HOA Emergency. A new couple, Ellen and Tom, bought Monica's place, bringing a lab and peach pie to potlucks. They painted it warm, planted herbs, and asked about wiring issues. I shrugged, history could wait. The HOA refunded misused funds, capped solo spending, and held real events. My horn tail went viral after Carl's buddy posted the blast clip online, but I skipped into VYUs. I rewired my lights, helped a neighbor with solar, and sat on my porch as Ellen's dog chased fireflies. Wind chimes sang, kids biked, and the sunset glowed. I hadn't just stopped a thief, I'd flipped a switch, powering a community that learned to fight. Monica thought she could steal and rule, but the surge hit back, and her lights were out for good.
If you were the one in this story, how would you react? Would you stand up and fight back, or accept the unreasonable pressure and control from the HOA? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe, like, and share this video with more people. Your small action gives us the motivation to keep bringing you more intense and engaging stories. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.